Hi, Sean Huckster here, and welcome to the Mighty Max Rabbit Hole Awards, series of short videos in which I go through the various series of Mighty Max toys and pick my favorites and my least favorites sometimes, and some other categories as well. Today, I'm focusing on Most Clever Mechanism. So the great thing about Mighty Max is that every set is a mechanical marvel as well as a toy. So every set has function and movement and all sorts of really cool features. And while there are 18 of these Doom Zones, I've chosen these 6 as nominees or something that at least worth talking about. Let's start with Battlecat. Battlecat, this is one of the first Mighty Max sets I purchased in the last several, in the modern era, let's say. And what I love about this is the jaw comes down. There's a winch here, but this is supposed to be ancient, like medieval. This is the time of cavemen and mastodons, because when you open it up, you have a mastodon or a mammoth. They're 2 separate things, by the way. And you have an ugly green caveman here with a rock named Gore. And why this set? Why do I think this set is the most, or is at least worthy of mention when it comes to clever mechanism? Because this, first of all, the jaw that locks it in place is kind of cool. The mammoth forms part of the teeth, which is great. When he comes out, Mighty Max is hidden underneath the mammoth inside a gap. And he fits right here into a foothold, but then fits right into the mammoth, which is rather clever. But I also want to talk about this wonderful thing here, where these 2 pieces come aside. These side wings open up, and inside is one of the funniest jokes they did, which is the evolution of the wheel, starting off with the triangle, then going to the square, then finally going to the round wheel. And all of that hidden inside this perfect mechanism. I really love this. And this is a spring-loaded trap. I think this is the only spring-loaded feature in Mighty Max. So certainly worth mentioning, worth nominating for most clever mechanism. Trying to fit Mighty Max back in there now. Let's put everything back where it should be. This one fits a little loosely in that hole. I can probably put a better Max in here. But anyway, and let's put him here. And his rock forms the eye of the tiger. And okay, moving on. We have the Maneater, which is a shark. Now this is clever in itself because when you open this up, there's a submarine right inside. And that's hinged up as well. So that in itself is clever. But then you have these 2 squid beasts with these fins outside. And these are the same mold, but when put together like this, they mesh together so well that when you place them in their holes here, so you got to do that before you put the sub down, their eyes fit here, one of the eyes on one side, because they have 2 eyes, and it fits right here, and then, oops, wrong way, and they mesh together perfectly, and then when you close the sub, the fins form 2 side fins of the shark. But the real clever mechanism here is this manta ray, this upper fin, which comes off and becomes, see that? That's lovely. You put a little thumb hole in here and you pull it apart, provided that you can. And you get, come on, you can do it. There we go. This forms a vehicle, which has intricate little details inside, and then a foothold for Max, which fits right here, and it's like a manta in itself. That is brilliant. And let's pop that back into place. Then you've got the Cyber Skull, which is just a miracle of engineering anyway. This jaw comes down, but then you have to lift up here before you can open the thing. But also it has this wonderful top head, piece of the head, and when you get up here you can open up this scope and flip it to the other side and place it back down, and it covers this eye as well. I mean, that is brilliant. This is the only Max I think that has a black logo, but there's more to it than this. When you open up the head, you get a vehicle here, which is a hover vehicle, and it has a launching weapon here. This also opens up. This doesn't launch out, by the way. It does extend, pulls out, but it doesn't launch. Then this opens up as well and forms a hover vehicle. also a ram. But when this comes down like so, it's almost like it's, I'm sorry, like so, it's almost like it's an antenna as it fits into the side of the head. On the other side, you've got this, first of all, your villain's kind of cool too. You've got this power pillar that sits up in the middle, which is kind of nice. Also, yeah, when this is over here, this folds down like it is a microphone on a headset for the Cyberhead. Then you've got your villain up here who can come out and slide onto the power pillar. And inside, this also, by the way, when you remove this, can flop down to the other side perfectly. And let me just grab the villain. Dropped on the floor again. And in general, I just love everything about this set. I love the stairs, I love the circuit board printing in here. I love the power pillar that snaps up. I love the jaw that swings. Then this locks in place using this interesting mechanism where these two prongs actually lock down the upper head before you snap this up to close the whole unit. And, you know, there are several very cool mechanisms in this one set alone. So let's pop this back down, put the villain back in place, and close the head. Again, the head doesn't close until you move these prongs up and then the prongs down, and they lock the head down and they close. That's pretty brilliant right there. Next, we've got the lizard. And I just love this as well. This has got this really cool mechanism where you rotate this and the tongue comes out. But not only that, this one doesn't open. Like, this is the latch. It will not open until you open the head first. And you see how this little bit of mouth comes down and clicks under here? That's beautiful. I mean, it's perfect. And then when you do that, suddenly you can open the whole body. And the whole thing comes up. Now, also, this locks down. This is an arm that lifts up, but it doesn't allow this creature to come out until you've opened it up. Like, you can pull this out, but it takes some force. Once you get the head up and this lifts a little, it releases with a little lock mechanism back there, this villain, which I think is absolutely just an amazing villain. It looks like a lamprey, sort of, with mouth underneath, and oh, just love this thing. And there's skeletons everywhere. And all of these I've reviewed, so you should go back over my channel if you want in-depth views. But I just wanted to go over right now, like, the mechanisms. And another mechanism, let's get this open again, is there is this slide here, and Max can fit down here, but he gets locked into this slide until this tongue moves, which, as you can see here, kind of releases the rest of the slide and lets Max slide down here into a trap, which is closed by this part of spine. All of this, the viscera, the bones, is supposed to be the interior of this lizard, including this little joint here, which lifts up the latch that releases the villain out here. Meanwhile, because this comes right up, you see that little hole there? This little thing kind of traps the tail in place. So when the head is closed, it locks this villain in so you can't pull him out. And then you've got this other villain here whose tail rotates, but when you place him into the slime pit here, he fits perfectly into the tail of the lizard, making it a very strong nominee for some of the coolest mechanisms. Then you've got the scorpion. This is a set that I've heard a lot of people complain about that they didn't like, but I love this set. I love the fact that the scorpion's claws work here, the tail works, and the tail kind of locks into a little hole here. But then when you open this up, it opens in a bit of a different way too, because you have to open this from the back, and if you don't pull these claws apart, it catches on the way up. So when you do pull those apart, it opens up, but now you see the claws are part of this interior device, which swings up and locks into place, like so. And now, this is the grabber that you see from the outside, but is now part of the inside mechanism inside the factory. Then you've got the scorpion itself, which is this massive robot. Max can sit in here, and underneath the robot, stored, is the scorpion, is Scorpius. And all of this together, you see the 3 pins that hold him in place? All of this together form what I think is certainly a miraculous mechanism. Now, the scorpion can slide into place, but he doesn't necessarily sit well until you pull the tail back, and that kind of puts him into place. And now, he is where he should be. To close this, you have to open the claws again, because otherwise it kind of gets in the way. Swing this up. Oh, I'm sorry, down. But you got to open and clear the claws before you swing it closed, and then we're closed again, and we have the set. I really love this. When it comes to mechanisms, the side opening Nautilus is one of the cleverest, which is why it's a nominee. It has, I think, the only vertical opening mechanism, but this does not come out. I'm sorry, it can't open until you remove this front head. Now, this head is like a creepy lobster thing. Now, in the comic book, this is actually an escape pod, so it's all mechanical. This is not a beast. This is actually a ship designed by Captain Nemo. And you cannot open this because these kind of lock it into place until you pull this out. And this little ring here locks into place against a shaft inside that locks it in place. Once you remove this, much like the lizard, now it'll open. And this drops out because it doesn't stay in place by itself. And this is a little bottom trawler that trawls the bottom of the ocean for treasure and things. Then you've got this mechanism here where this middle piece slides out, but it has treads on it, which means as this thing is on the ocean floor, it's being crawled along on treads. So this is very much a mechanical beast. Then you've got this piece here that opens up and flips out. So you've got a platform over the play area, which then also houses a weapon. So, and also the details in here are amazing. But as for mechanisms, this is certainly up there. Place this back in here, place this. Now, just before I close this locks in place by snapping onto this little vertical post here. So that's incredibly clever. And let's close it and lock it back in place again. Oh, and also the head comes up to reveal the villain, swings up, hinges up, and Nemo is inside here. And this actually can't open either until it's been pulled out. So this acts as a lock for the whole mechanism, and that is brilliant too. Now, of all these pieces, I honestly came into this video without actually having decided which I think is the absolute cleverest mechanism. But I gotta give props to the shark fin that opens up to be a hover mantis, a manta ray. So many features in the Cyber Skull, including this targeting sight and the central pillar that flips both directions, then the hover vehicle that opens up down and becomes a headphone, and then the jaw that locks. And there are a lot of really cool things in here that I love as well, and this one. But this one, I'm going to have to say, I'm torn between these two, and I almost want to make it a tie. How would I break the tie? I think just for sheer number of mechanisms, Cyber Skull wins, because it's got this wonderful target sight that opens up and you can flip it. There's just wonderful mechanisms all throughout this thing. The interesting way it locks down, which is unique to all of the Mighty Max sets. I'm going to give most clever mechanism to Cyber Skull. Well, people, thanks for hanging out. There will be more coming. I have more awards to give out, including Best in Show, which will come much later. All right, for now, that's me. Hope to see you next time. Bye.